Uh-oh, what?
The Kansas City Royals are moving in most of the fences at Kauffman Stadium by 10 feet and lowering their height as well.
Every single time we start recording, it's usually after we hit the end call button is when the breaking news comes out. But for once, the breaking news came out right while we are recording. So, Brandon, why don't you let the fine people know what this amazing breaking news is?
So the Royals are moving the fences in at Kauffman Stadium.
Let's go.
So let's just go over what that looks like. So this came from Jeff Passan from ESPN. It says the Royals will keep center field at 410, and they plan to taper in the fences starting in the power alleys, which will be shortened from 389 to 379. The fences will continue on that path nearly 10 feet shorter all the way to the foul pole, the 330 foul pole, excuse me. Not only are the fences being moved in, but the fences are being lowered. So the fences are going from 10 feet high to 8.5 feet high. So here's a really professional visual aid that Moses made all by himself. Great job, Moses. But
Thank you.
this isn't the first time that the Royals have toyed with the dimensions of Kauffman. So according to this article, from 1995 to 2003, the Royals brought the fences in. And then in 2004, reverted back to the dimensions we are familiar with now. So this has been a few years of research from the analytics department saying, hey, if we do these things, we can kind of neutralize our ballpark, because Kauffman's known as a pitcher-friendly ballpark. It is the second biggest outfield in all of baseball, only second to Coors Field in Denver. So this is going to help the Royals at the 81 games at Kauffman Stadium. It's going to give players an opportunity to hit more balls out of the ballpark.
I was kind of, being a little less optimistic and saying some players will have less doubles like Salvi, but 10 feet might not make or break a double, but people like him might hit more home runs, which is great because the power alleys are where lots of people like Bobby hit the ball. I know Jack Caglione hit who knows how many to the warning track. And if it were 10 feet in and a foot and a half shorter, some of those are going out. So it's kind of sad because I used to love the fact that the Royals had the most acreage. Like that was the term everyone always remembers, is the Royals have the most acreage as a field in the whole MLB. And that's kind of a cool little thing to remember. But I mean, Kauffman is a thing of the past as of 5 years from now. So might as well make it a little more fun, give it some little updates while we have power hitters like Vinny and Bobby and Salvi still playing here. So fun little update.
And like you said, this kind of tells me their thought process going into the construction of the new stadium is the fences are going to be shorter. I think it's a lot of fun because, I mean, how many times at Kauffman Stadium do you see somebody hit a ball off the top of the fence? So no longer is that going to be the case. Those are going to be home runs now.
Yeah. Or in a hopefully alternative future vision that I'm having is Kyle Isbell robbing home runs. Jack Caglione knows how to rob home runs apparently, so maybe he'll get some of those too.
Yeah, and it's just going to be less leaping. It's going to be a little arm stretch.
Yeah, you and I are about the same height, and I was kind of making that visual aid, like me standing up straight. This is probably 8 feet at least. So I know Jack Caglione's taller than us by a couple inches. Kyle Isbell is shorter than us, but for a professional athlete, jumping like that's going to be really fun for them, I'm sure.
Very cool. Because that's kind of something that I've thought about for years. Because Kauffman's always been known as a pitcher's ballpark. It's always been the Royals don't build their team around power players because that's not how their stadium is built. And for me, I'm like, well, wouldn't you don't want to have Yankee Stadium, but maybe you do, but you want to have more opportunities for power hitters to come in and thrive. And while it's a subtle change, I think it will make a big difference.
Yeah. I think while watching the games, every other game, an announcer would say, in any other ballpark, that might have been a home run.
Yep.
And then usually it'd be Rex Hudler saying, in any other ballpark, that would have been a home run. And then Ryan says, well, we're not in any other ballpark. We're in Kauffman. And hey, I think now, that might change. Now we are in any other ballpark in a way.
So, yeah, cool news that we just almost missed because it just came out.
If it weren't for you checking your phone, we would have totally missed it. Shout out Jeff Passan. Really like that guy. Good work.
Good work, Jeffrey.
Yeah, something I wanted to talk about was the future of television with the Royals. I mentioned in a short earlier in the year last year, that we had just renewed our contract with FanDuel Sports Network. And that was earlier in the winter of 2025. So things are changing. So the breaking news is that 9 teams all have eliminated their contracts with FanDuel Sports Network. And those teams are the Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals, Los Angeles Angels, Miami Marlins, Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals, and the Tampa Bay Rays. So this is a big, long story that's been going on for the last 3 years.
So 9 teams, those 9 teams opted out of their deal with FanDuel Sports Network. This came from a missed payment to the St. Louis Cardinals by Main Street Sports. But this saga has been going on for a few years. It's really been going back to the Diamond Sports Group era, the Bally Sports, if you guys remember that. Bally Sports kind of tanked. So let's just kind of go through what's happened in the post Fox Sports RSN era of baseball, basketball, hockey. So Diamond Sports Group, who they were the owners of Bally Sports, they missed a $140 million payment in February of 2023 and entered a 30-day grace period. Then in March, Diamond filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So this was the first red flag for the teams of not only not trusting Diamond, but also having questions of the TV structure itself and what the future of that looks like. So, question though, how many of you guys have subscribed to Bally Sports or FanDuel Sports to watch Royals games? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, I know I only did it when they became FanDuel, and it was only because I could split the bill with a family member of mine and both of us could watch, but also the Royals were good. So it was not because I wanted to, it was because I wanted to watch the Royals. I was thinking about doing it on my Amazon because they had the Amazon add-on thing, but I couldn't share the bill because it's my own personal Amazon account. So that's one person, but I don't know anyone. Maybe I know 2 people personally that actually subscribed.
Yeah, I knew a handful of people as well. I mean, what's the biggest complaint that people have about Royals games is I can't watch it. My friend, my friend Logan that I do the merch feast with, shout out, shameless plug.
Yeah.
He was, he's like, I want to watch the Royals, but it's just, I don't want to pay for this extra thing. And that's where we are with regional sports networks. Maybe eventually it will change. But anyway, back on topic. So October of 2024.
A year and a half later.
And the teams are just kind of in limbo from this point. Like, we're still going to operate as business as usual because we don't really know. But Diamond emerges from bankruptcy and they rebrand as Main Street Sports Groups and officially rebrand their RSNs to FanDuel Sports Network. And FanDuel Sports Network, it's just a branding deal. So it is, okay, everything's back on track. We're going to be good. All of our problems are solved. Well, just kidding. The teams pretty much operate in 2025 as normal. Everything's fine. There are a couple teams that aren't able to kind of get a deal going with FanDuel Sports, the San Diego Padres, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And what ended up happening there was Major League Baseball stepped in and kind of took over their broadcasting rights and actually made a package for them specifically on MLB TV. It was like $20 a month. And I think also made it available on cable for them as well for local fans. But post 2025, here we are again. A lot of teams have opted in to their 2026 deal, like Moses said earlier. But December 2025, Main Street misses a scheduled rights payment to the Cardinals, which is now, here we are again. Same problem that we were having when they were under the name of Bally Sports. It's just new name, same people, same song, different dance, whatever you want to say. And this is where everybody was like, you know what? Peace out. We're done. And these teams can renegotiate with FanDuel, or what will likely happen is I think a lot of these teams will end up under that MLB TV package, and that's how we will consume Royals games.
Yep. And this also affects the NBA because there's a handful of teams that had their payments not get paid out by FanDuel Sports Network. And, there was talks that maybe FanDuel Sports Network would sell and be absorbed by someone else that can actually handle it. And that all fell through. So all these teams dipped out and they all get to just decide what they're going to do with their future. This doesn't mean that they can't renegotiate and work something out with the FanDuel Sports Network again, but I definitely do not think that's going to happen just due to the last 3 years of bad financial decisions and stupidity. And it's not entirely, I would say it's not entirely on the companies themselves. I mean, you have to have subscriber revenue in order to carry. Like, that's kind of the whole point of creating this regional sports model. But no one's getting it. Like, no one in Kansas City, there's a whole number of things that we're not willing to pay for. They're not willing to pay for a stadium tax. They're not willing to pay for, any other increased taxes to change anything. So why would they go out of their way to pay $20 a month to watch a baseball team that they don't even know much about? So,
yeah. And I just want to talk about the product of Bally Sports / FanDuel Sports, because both of them were terrible. Bally Sports was like, my app is just crashing, or now all of a sudden I'm watching it in a tiny screen on the bottom right of my television. Or FanDuel Sports, every time it came back from a commercial break, the audio and video wasn't synced. Like, how in 2025 are we having these issues?
So if I were watching the game on any Roku device in my house, every television is a Roku TV or a Roku device plugged into the TV. The FanDuel app was borderline unusable because you would turn it on and it would just be so glitchy just from the start of opening up the game. But what would happen to me personally is there would be a big giant border pink T-Mobile advertisement that would come onto the screen, and it would shrink. If this is the whole TV screen, it would shrink the game down to about here, and there'd be a huge pink T-Mobile thing, and it would happen at the most inopportune times, and then it would stay there. It would stay there until I refreshed the app, and I began casting it from my phone, which was hard to do because even the app on the phone is horrible. So
what I'm hoping with this is Major League Baseball. One of the gripes from consumers has been Major League Baseball's blackout restrictions. And I'm hoping that this is kind of the first step of Major League Baseball really looking at that and making MLB TV just broadly available to where, like, because you can pay for it now or you can get it through T-Mobile. I don't know if that's going to continue with the ESPN acquisition, but you can watch every team outside of your market. Most teams are not going to watch teams outside of their market. That's just how baseball is. It's a very regionalized sport. If you're me, you're weird, and I'll just watch Diamondbacks Rockies on a random Tuesday night. But
hey, that's probably a good game.
If I could have access to all 30 teams, including my own, I'd be way more inclined to make that purchase.
I remember back when Bally went bankrupt and they were trying to decide if they were going to rebrand or sell. I remember you and I had a conversation. I was in my car. I had you plugged in. You're coming through my speakers, and I was talking to you on the phone about. I think that MLB needs to be focused on being the second best sport in America,
Yes.
because there's the NFL
conversation.
Yeah, the NFL is king, and they know what they're doing. We can all, like, even for example, yesterday I wanted to watch the Texans versus Steelers playoff game. I had to go and get a free trial of Fubo so that I could watch the game because I don't have ESPN. I don't have cable. We got rid of YouTube TV because it's like $1,000 for crap product now, and I wanted to watch that game, and I'm not gonna not watch that football game. So I had to do something, and we're in the streaming world. Every streaming service has the rights to a certain number of games. That's the NFL. They are king. But if you're in your own city, you're able to turn it on and watch it on CBS or Fox. You know that you're able to do that. Whereas baseball, it's a big mystery. Why is it so hard to watch a game? I'm from Kansas City. I want to watch my sports team, and I shouldn't. Like, it's kind of an entitlement thing, but I feel like I shouldn't have to pay $20 a month in order to watch. And it's, that's a whole conversation because, it's kind of worth it if you're a big Royals fan. But when the MLB, you can go ahead. You look like you
I was going to say the price point is worth it if they're good. I remember in 2023 having that conversation with my dad. And it's $20 a month on Bally Sports. And this was when the Royals lost 106 games. And it's like, we're paying more than $1 a win to watch the Royals play. Like,
that's crazy.
Like, I have to pay more money to watch the Royals per month than games they'll actually win.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like maybe this is the MLB's opportunity to kind of say to themselves, we do want to be the second best sport in America, because NBA is a certain way, NHL is a certain way, and that's kind of the four-headed monster: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, and soccer's coming along. But like the MLS, they got some work to do with TV deals and making it readily available to their local fans. But we don't have basketball, we don't have hockey. I mean, we have the Kansas City Mavericks, shout out, but we don't have an NHL team. So MLB could take this and say, we're going to be the second most easily available sport in America, and they could just absorb all the rights and just make it themselves, and they could make it a more appeasing price point to fans like us. And
make it more appealing from a price standpoint, but also keep doing what the Royals did last year. And I believe they had 10 games on local television. I think they did an agreement with the local CBS affiliate, and there was like 10 Sundays or something where the Royals were on just antenna TV. I think they just need to continue to do that and expand on that. Even if it's like, this game's going to be on Channel 5, this game's going to be on 38 The Spot or somewhere random, right? Like, just make it to where, I get maybe it's not reasonable for the network or the Royals to make that 162 game thing, but open up that package.
Well, it's funny, if they did that more, I would not turn on FanDuel or Bally or whatever the heck it's going to be, and I would tune into that channel. I would rather watch it live on an antenna than deal with the stupid app and all of its accompanying junk.
So, yeah, time will tell what the Royals decide to do. Obviously we are 2+ months out from the season starting, so I'd imagine we'll probably hear. I would think we'll know in the next month what they're gonna do with their TV rights. I just get in agreement with MLB and do an MLB TV package, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I would be down for that.
Yeah. But yeah, let's move on. So arbitration.
Yes. Arbitration season.
Arbitration's coming up. If you want a deep dive on all of the arbitration information regarding the Royals, check out this short that Moses made, link at the top of the screen, and then come back and finish out the show. But just a brief overview of kind of what went down with arbitration. Moses, if you want to dive into that.
Yeah, we came to agreements and avoided arbitration with 6 players: center fielder Kyle Isbell, relief pitcher Bailey Falter, relief pitcher John Schreiber, relief pitcher Nick Mears, second baseman Michael Massey, and another relief pitcher Daniel Lynch IV. So basically what that means is they all asked for raises and they got it. Handful of these names are names you know, some of them are new. Nick Mears we got in the Serpa trade. But then there was 2 players that we were not able to come to agreements with. And this isn't entirely uncommon, but we're really hoping that they come to an agreement before they have to go to an arbitration hearing. The 2 players being the Pasquatch, Vinny Pasquantino, and Chris Bubich, the most popular trade name of the offseason for the Royals. And just wait till I tell you the numbers. If you watch the short, you already know, but the numbers are: Vinny came in at $4.5 million and the Royals came in at $4 million, a difference of $500,000. Chris Bubich came in at $6.15 million and the Royals came in at $5.15 million. That is an overall difference of $1.5 million for 2 star players. Probably your second best starting pitcher, maybe, if he keeps up what he had been doing. Probably just, great average MLB starting pitcher number, and one of your best RBI producing, home run producing bats in your lineup, Vinny Pasquantino, for $1.5 million. Now, my bold early prediction is that they'll just come to an agreement. Vinny Pasquantino was already thought to have been looking for a long-term deal. I came to the table with that hot take at the beginning of the year, or at the beginning of the offseason, with we need to sign Michael Garcia, Carter Jensen, and Vinny Pasquantino to long contracts. Now, we already did one with Michael Garcia, and Carter Jensen is just so young that we won't do that for a couple of years. But Vinny Pasquantino, when you're in these arbitration years, I'm honestly kind of surprised he didn't want more money. I'll be honest. 4.5 is a very okay number. And I think that if it were to come to an arbitration hearing, I think that he would get that number because the arbitrator has to pick one number or the other, either 4.5 or 4. They don't settle. They pick one. And I kind of think he would get it. I'm not so sure about Chris Bubich, but it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy that the 2 biggest names that we were hoping would come to an agreement weren't not able to. So we'll see what happens.
I think with Vinny's more surprising for me. I'm sure there's some deep reasons as to why it didn't happen, but Chris Bubich doesn't surprise me much because stay healthy.
Yeah.
But I'm just $500,000. All right, whatever.
Yeah. Arbitration is a big thing in the whole MLB, and it's fun. It's really fun to look at it because if you're a Royals fan, you don't want them to go to arbitration. If you're, here's a perfect example of something that's happening. Back-to-back Cy Young winner, Tarek Skubal, starting pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. He came to the table with a record-breaking arbitration number of $32 million per year. I think this is his first year of being eligible to negotiate a new contract.
And he made $10 million in 2025.
Yes.
For reference.
He came to the table and said, give me $32 million. And the Detroit Tigers came to the table saying, we'll give you $19 million. That is not something that they're going to come to an agreement on. They're going to probably go to an arbitration hearing. Either they're going to sign him to a crazy, in the MLB, there's been a lot of giant contracts given out. We signed Bobby to an 11-year, $280-something million deal. Juan Soto got paid a huge deal. Ohtani got paid a huge deal. Tarek Skubal is the Juan Soto and Ohtani of pitchers. He won the Cy Young back-to-back years. He is insane. It's a similar situation. Paul Skeens is going to come up and give a number that big here in a couple of years too. But It's so funny knowing that it's not our team. Now we get to sit back and watch all the drama happen.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
it's
I'm
not
okay
even
with it
close.
happening.
It's not. They're not even close. And I think I said it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I wouldn't even want to see what a Bobby Witt Jr. arbitration hearing
Yeah.
would look like, because I
Yeah.
think it would look similar to that. But
Yeah.
something like, clearly JJ Piccolo is not afraid to go to arbitration. When Dayton Moore was GM, he was like known for avoiding arbitration. I think he went to arbitration once that I can remember, and with like Brandon Maurer, somebody random.
Wow.
But
Ew.
for the most part, yeah, who? For the most part,
Brandon
he
Maurer.
would settle with his players. You want to play a game?
Yeah. What do you want to do? We want to play a game?
So something fun to look at is over-unders for
Ooh.
players and teams. So whether it's win totals, hits, home runs, RBIs, and just want to take a look at some numbers and
Okay.
look at some of this. And with the new information about the fences being brought in, we might have a little bit of a different opinion on.
That's right.
Some
In
of this
fact, I
info.
bet these numbers are going to be updated here soon because of
They
that.
probably will be.
So if you're a bettor, which Brandon and I are not, but if you're a betting
You're not.
person, hop on these numbers as soon as possible because you might be getting yourself a steal. So I'm going to present to you. So the three big name players we were able to find some good over-unders on was Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, and Vinny Pasquantino. So let's start with Bobby Witt Jr. So we have the hits totals, the home run totals, and the RBI totals. So the over-under for Bobby Witt Jr. hits is 177.5. And to give you an idea of where he was at in 2025, he had 184. And I would argue that's on a down year.
That led the league.
Yeah. So are you taking the over or the under?
I am taking the over because Bobby Witt Jr. has played for 4 years. He has had 150 hits, 177 hits, 211 hits, and 184 hits. So there's no reason to think that he's going to be under 177
Okay.
and a half hits.
Yeah. So Bobby Witt Jr.'s over-under for RBIs is at 90.4. Are you taking the over or the under?
I will take the over. He had 88 last year. I'll take the over because I think he had a great year last year, but it was a down year in a lot of categories. And I think he will have better power this year, which will generate more RBIs.
And Jonathan India was at leadoff for the first 3/4 of the season, it felt like. And he didn't do anything. So if someone else is able to get on base a little bit more, bring in the ribbies, baby. All right, last one for Bobby. Home run total, over or under 27.5.
Well, 27.5. Let's take the over.
Ooh.
Again, just what I said about RBIs plus the fence being brought in. Those would have been a home run in 26 other ballparks. Those are going to be, we're not going to hear that as much, I think. I know 10 feet is a very subtle difference, but with 10 feet and the fence is dropping, I feel like it's a little bit more than what it sounds like.
And the fence is dropping. That might be better for Bobby because he hits a lot of line drives. All right, moving on to the next player. Salvador Perez. Over or under total 136.5 hits. 2025, he had 141 hits. You taking the over or the under?
Salvador Perez is 35 and a half.
We're going there. We're going there. Oh, man. Brendan, you went there?
I hate to do it, but I'm taking the under. I think this year is going to be, now, it might not be fair to him because he had 30 home runs and 100 plus RBIs last year, but I think we will really start to see a little bit of regression. Plus, Carter Jensen's come up.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe a little less playing time. Home runs for Salvador Perez, 25.5. You taking the over or the under?
I'm taking the under. Taking the under on that.
All right, brother. He went there. He doesn't believe in Salvi, ladies and gentlemen.
I went there. It's not that I don't believe in him. I just father time.
Over under for RBIs, 88.5. In 2025, Salvi had 100 RBIs.
I'll take the over, but not by much.
It'll be 89.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Vinny Pasquantino, total hits, 139.5. Taking the over or the under, buddy?
He had 164 hits in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
He had 130 in 2024 while missing a month. This is disrespectful.
Some of these numbers are just silly to see.
I'll take the over.
Boom.
And it's not even close.
All right, Pasquantino home runs, 25.5. In 25, he hit 32.
Over.
Heck yeah.
Again, had 19 in 2024. Missed a month. I think he had 7 home runs in him in September.
And then the RBI total is looking at 91.5. He was the RBI leader with the Royals with 113 and 25. So what are you taking?
Do I need to say it again? 97 RBIs, missing an entire month in 2024. 113 RBIs last year. What are we doing with these numbers? Unless they just think he's not going to be healthy. Over.
Boom. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So Brandon believes in Bobby. He believes in Vinny, but he does not believe in Salvi.
It's not a lack of belief. The things that I said about Salvi still are a very productive season.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know if... I just don't know.
We need Salvi that bat.
He had a good year last year.
Well, he regressed the entire first half, and we were like, what is this guy doing? And then second half, he lit it up.
It's time to hang it up. That's how we were with the first 2+ months of Salvi in 25.
Yeah. Well, to think that he was so cold the first start of the season, then he was able to bring his numbers up to be basically career average just by lighting it up.
I will be happy to be wrong.
There you go. Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments down below. And who else on this list are you excited to see some over-unders come up, and we can talk about some of those. I encourage all of you that are listening, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button or the follow button wherever you're listening to this. Smash that like button. And again, just leave a comment if there's anything you want us to talk about, anything you're curious about, you got any questions, or if you have any observations that we didn't cover, please make your voice heard. And Brandon, I think that's all I got. Got anything else?
Pay Vinny.
Let's go. Peace, everybody.
See ya.
Peace.